Do you like to be right?
Yes, I love it. I really love it. It's one of my favourite things. My thing is, I really can't bear a fake sorry. I'd prefer almost anything than a sorry that isn't really real. And what I didn't understand, and Mark and I have been to 3 different marriage guidance counsellors through our marriage, and nobody ever said, why don't you just say, I agree to disagree? And I've only just discovered this in the last couple of years, and it's just fantastic. It's such a great tool available to all of us that we don't use. And it can be used in a very wholehearted, warm way, or it can be used in a really good passive-aggressive way. It's just a fabulous sentence. It's a sentence I love.
But what if say, for example, in an argument, he said to you, you know, the trouble with you is, and it was a fundamental attack on your character, not just arguing about who's done the washing up or whatever.
Yeah. It
was a fundamental attack on your character, and you thought, you don't actually know me. You wouldn't agree to disagree on that, would you?
It depends how many days we've been rowing and whether I've got bored with it or not. Eventually I have to get to, but I'm just thinking about a row with Jane. Well, it wasn't really a row, but I remember being around your house one day, and Gary was saying to me, you were sort of getting ready, and Gary was telling me all about Gracie coming home for the weekend. You said, oh, you know, I've got a pizza in, we're going to watch this on the telly. I've got fluffy white towels ready for her because she loves fluffy white towels. And you walked past, you went, stop showing off. And I was like, he's not showing off. He's telling me how much he loves Grace.
I know. I remember you saying that to me, but as I saw it, basically you just walked in the door and he was telling you how great he was. That's really what that was about. He was going, aren't I a great dad? And yes, he is a great dad, but he was just like, it was just like this list of give me your approval. And I was just like, oh, for God's sake.
And then did you ever go in then, Jane, once you guys had finished your afternoon out?
No, because me and Nadia went off for the weekend, so I forgot all about it after that.
Yeah, because when we were in the car, I said to Jane, oh, I think you were a bit harsh on him there. He was only saying. She went, oh, was I? Oh, I'll sort it out. And off we went down the motorway.
I think we agreed to disagree on that, didn't we?
There you go. Jane. Well, actually, talking of arguing, a third of households are multi-generational. So what we want to talk about now is if you live with your in-laws or your parents, or if they're around, is it ever okay to argue in front of them? And I've obviously got to go to you first, Frankie, because you do live with your in-laws, don't you?
I know. People find it fascinating that I live with my in-laws. I think I am naturally quite a laid-back person, and so is Wayne to a certain extent. And you know, because we live together, of course we do bicker or we will argue in front of his mum or dad. Like, I don't know if it would be different if we were going to their house, whether we would, you know, awkwardly argue in front of them, because it does make a room feel uncomfortable when a couple's arguing. But at the minute, like his mum especially, his dad wouldn't ever get involved, but his mum generally kind of stays out of it. Yeah. But if she does get involved, she's normally on my side, so I'm completely fine with it. I think if she then started sticking up for Wayne, I'd be like, yeah, I think it's time for them to move out. But at the minute, I'm good.
Well, we actually did a poll on this online. Quite a few of you have got involved in this. So we asked the question, is it okay to argue in front of your in-laws? And 43% of you said yes, and 57% of you said no. Now, I not okay with arguing in front of anyone, really, mine and my partner. How about you, Nadia? Do you guys argue in front of your parents? Because your parents are only next door, aren't they?
Yeah, my parents are next door. No, I think my parents are at that age where I just want everything to be just wonderful and perfect for them. When I was younger, I used to get drunk and have screaming rows in front of them, not with Mark, but with other boyfriends. But sometimes I can feel like when because Mark's mum spends a lot of time with us, because Mark's mum is in our bubble. And like sometimes when he's getting tense with her, I can feel it might start coming my way. Because, you know, we do that, don't we? When we're stressed with our in-laws, with our relatives, we take it out in the park. So I like, oh, I'm just going to go and clear up upstairs. I pretend I've got something to clear up. And then I just spend ages just watching Housewives of Beverly Hills or something on my phone.
Until it's safe to come out.
Yeah.
But Jane, when it comes to arguing, just relationships generally, some relationships thrive on that, I think.
Yeah, we don't particularly. We do bicker a bit, but we don't argue, like full screaming kind of arguments. And I think the in-laws thing is, I think if you don't see them very often, it's very easy to just park something and not argue. But I think if they live with you, it would be an odd situation if, you feel a bit of a bicker coming on to have to suppress it in the same house. I think that would be a bit weird. But in my house, we have... I'm more the bystander to Gary and my mum. They're literally like a sitcom. And my mum's quite sensitive about her age. No one's allowed to mention my mother's age. So, of course, Gary is, like, just constantly picking that scab. He's, like, always making age jokes. And she has a go back, and we're all kind of going, oh, my God. But then... if there's anything ever wrong with her, he's the first there dealing with it. They're very close, but they are...
the phrase, I feel a bicker coming on, I might try that later on in the week and see where that gets me.